All right. Well, the Holy Blade actually started as far as chat before me. All right. But uh, uh, welcome to the stream, Holy Blade. Always glad to see you in chat. But yeah. So the topic here: would a utopia really be a good thing? And yes, I am kind of making a reference to the mouse utopia experiment. But also at the same time, I kind of want to look at it just from a human perspective. Um, and, you know, as a MGTOW channel and, you know, being red pilled, you know, we use that term all the time. So here's the thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the movie The Matrix. They actually kind of addressed that. Would we be able to accept a utopia even if it was offered to us? You know? I mean, let's be honest here. Would we be able to accept it? Would we be happy? Could we exist in that situation? Because if you actually look at the history of humanity, a lot of our biggest advancements have actually come from strife, from having to either work against the elements or work against disease or work against opposing forces, you know, whatever, whatnot. A lot of our advancements have come from us overcoming hardships. For example, the internet, the thing that we're using right now, the thing that you're using to watch this stream or video if you're watching after the fact, was a solution to a problem. And that was communication over long distances. Because before that, you know, we had stuff like the telephone, the telegraph, that sort of thing. But all those things were very limited. Whereas with the internet, you could send pictures. You could instantly send a large mail file. Not have to sit there and send a letter to someone. And it could be sitting there waiting for you to access it from anywhere. You wouldn't have to necessarily go to a specific spot. Anywhere that had a connection, you could go ahead and get that information. So it was a very eloquent solution to a problem, getting more eloquent as time goes on. What about the plane? It was a solution to a movement problem, being able to cover those vast distances and do so safely and effectively, as well as quickly. Look at our medical advancements. Would those even be there if disease didn't exist? No. But also at the same time, it wouldn't be needed. So at that point, I could see people arguing that, yeah, if there were no diseases, life would be a lot better. I'm not going to argue against that. But also at that point, it would also remove kind of a check that we have to keep us from overpopulating. So then you go into a new problem. Well, like I said, humans tend to want to solve problems. I mean, hell, look at right now. In the Western world, we got it pretty fucking good. Let's be honest. You know, we've got it pretty fucking good. Are there some problems? Yeah, but those problems, there's a reason why there's a term first world problems. Because the thing is stuff that we consider to be a major problem in a first world country. Other countries are sitting there and going, we got more pressing matters at hand here. Why in the fuck are you bitching about that? It's like, we're starving to death, or we're having trouble finding safe drinking water. And here you are bitching about air conditioning, or you're bitching about not getting the brand new iPhone and it's been out for 5 minutes, and so now you're behind the times. But the thing is humans naturally want to solve problems. And we're at a point now where we're starting to see humans creating problems to solve. And we're not even in a utopia at this point. I mean, yeah, we're doing very well, but we're not even in a utopia. And we're already rejecting the idea of a utopia. In fact, at this point, I think it's fairly safe to say we're kind of moving away from having a utopia. I really don't think that a utopia would be a good thing. But that's the short answer. Look to the stars, Chaz says. Yeah. Love the Dragon Heart reference, by the way. Definitely fitting on this channel. But the thing is humans tend to be a problem-solving species. We also tend to be a problem-causing species. Don't get me wrong. We cause a lot of issues, but we also solve a lot of issues. But the thing is in a utopia, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put forward this little proposition. In a utopia where humans have no problems, given how we can go ahead and take a look at modern day society, do you really think that we would go for very long? Hey, how's it going, Bullet? But do you think that we would really go for very long without becoming a problem that we need to solve? Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reference the study just for a little bit of backup here. And I know that trying to draw a direct comparison between the study that was done and modern day society, I'm not even going to try to do that. But I'm saying that there are some similarities and we should kind of keep an eye on it and maybe consider it. Because the thing is, let's be honest, we are animals. By the definition, we are animals. Technically, we are mammals, to be more precise. And the reason why we do tests on other mammals like mice, monkeys, so on and so forth, the reason why we do those tests is because, especially social tests, is because they kind of have similar social structures to us, albeit a much more primitive one, but still similar nonetheless. And in this study with the utopia, at first there was a huge boom of growth, but it wasn't a even boom of growth, which would be shocking because the thing is in that utopia experiment, all the resources were evenly distributed out. So you would expect the mice to explode in every direction, starting from the center and moving out. It's actually a thing. I'm actually going to go ahead and link to another YouTuber's video. He actually kind of covers it in a little more detail than I'm covering here. At this point, my channel is doing more extrapolation from it. But it's on Tildeer's channel. I know some people don't like Tildeer because he's kind of long-winded. I think he did a really good job of kind of keeping this one short and to the point. Like he stuck to the information. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a link in the description on here. So I highly recommend anyone who's not familiar with the mouse utopia experiment, I recommend going to him. And it's an interesting thing. But anywho, in that mouse utopia, you ended up with a situation that we kind of have going on now, or at the very least, Japan has going on specifically. I mean, it more closely mimics Japan's situation than anywhere else in the world. And it kind of makes sense, given Japan's population. And so at that point, their advancement through said experiment. You had kind of a split. You had females who were taking up traditionally male roles, who were a little less interested in the whole mothering aspect. In fact, a lot of them started losing that mothering instinct. And then you had males that completely lost interest in sex. In fact, they spent all of their time either grooming themselves, sleeping, drinking, or eating, yet keeping themselves, fit and that sort of thing. At a initial glance, those mice would have been the perfect male subjects as far as mice are concerned. Hence, they were termed the beautiful ones. But the problem was even if you took them out of that utopia and put them in a completely separate situation with a completely adequate breeding partner, nothing would happen. They would not breed. In fact, they wouldn't even socially interact. They would just continue doing the same thing outside of the situation that they were in the utopia as they did while inside. So it's one of those weird things. But also at the same time, we're kind of seeing some similarities here. To be sure, like the inbreeding thing is a thing, but also at the same time, there was some genetic diversity in there. Some, not a lot. But yeah, inbreeding definitely took part in that, and that could have led to the accelerated mental aspect of retardation. Like they were showing all the signs of actual mental retardation. So it's not one of those situations of, oh well, they're not fucking each other, so they're retarded. No, it wasn't even that. It was that they were actually acting as though they had those mental issues, that as though they were mentally slow. But the thing is you also had what they were calling social retardation. In other words, they didn't know how to socially interact. And the thing is you actually notice something very specific happen. And that was males, were ostracized from the breeding groups as they came of age, so on and so forth. So they were basically kind of cast down, and they would just hang out kind of at the bottom, not really doing anything, just kind of existing to exist. But they would also start attacking the less social males. Like the more social ones would gang up on the less social males. And during that portion of the experiment, it was noted that those generations had a lot more scars, a lot more wounds, scabs, all that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not saying that inbreeding didn't have a part in that. So I'm not saying that, this fully applies to people. I want to make that perfectly clear. But I'm saying that there are some similarities as far as the social aspects that we might want to keep an eye on. Because anyone who has actually looked into this, it actually ended up with the mice self-eradicating themselves through lack of breeding and lack of interest and lack of social interaction. The colony actually went extinct on its own accord. There was no disease that wiped them out. There was no shortage of resources, no shortage of space. In fact, they never even hit overpopulation levels. They didn't even get close to it. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And also, as Teal Deer brought up, there are arguments saying, well, people are smarter than that. Well, that's very true, Bullet Machine. Bullet Machine says the effects of continued inbreeding are starting to show in some Middle Eastern countries where they marry first cousins to each other. And that is true. They are seeing some issues going along with that. So I'm not going to sit there and, say, I'm not going to sit there and be one of those people that goes, yeah, if you got a cousin, go out and fuck them. I ain't going to fucking say that, because that's a bad idea for more than one reason. But the thing is at the same time, when we're looking at this experiment that was happening, and we actually take a look at modern day society and how men and women are starting to head, you know, where men are all like, oh, fuck you, all right, and they're kind of just going off and doing their own thing, you know, working on bettering themselves, not necessarily to mate, but just for the betterment of themselves, hence MGTOW. The thing is we're actually following kind of in that line. But like I said, this applies more toward the Japanese portion with the herbivore male movement. Hey, Dilgaff, what's up, man? Do you want in on this? You know you do. I promise no randos. You know what? I'm sending you an invite anyway. But the thing is we are showing some similarities in the course of this, and it kind of has me a little concerned.
Yo.
Hey, Delgap, how's it going, man?
Yeah, man, all good, all good.
You're gonna have to sleep eventually, motherfucker.
Oh, fucking don't. Shit.
Yeah, Dilgaff said he wasn't going to be joining into the stream today because he'd already been up for 24 hours. And I'm like, you know what? I understand that. I feel you. If you got the chance to sleep, fucking take it. Everyone will understand.
Oh, man. I fell asleep for about 20 minutes earlier, and then my fucking phone rang, and it's like, oh, really?
Oh, motherfucker, that's
it's like, really? So, yeah. So, anyway, like I was saying, what if your cousin's fit? Does that count?
Well, you know me, I'm a chubby chaser, so...
I meant fit as in, like, sexy. It's, surely you
well,
guys
you know, the area that I live in is kind of... But anywho...
so it's all game then.
Keep it in the family.
Shit. No, right. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
But like I was saying, have you ever heard of the mouse utopia experiment?
Yes, I have. And
I figured you would have, since you're into kind of social science type of stuff.
I think it's also relatively flawed when compared to human nature, because this is something I brought up quite a few months ago, whereas there was another crazy cat woman talking about MGTOW and how there's segregation and blah blah blah. And my argument then still stands, as whereas that colony of mice didn't have laws that would castigate the male rats or mice or whatever for no particular reason, like you know, I'm not happy kicks in and all that sort of a shit. There weren't laws and so on. So
like I said, I'm not sitting there and saying that we can ever draw any direct comparison. I'm just saying that the similarities are there at this point.
Oh yeah, 100%. There are similarities, but I think whereas again, the argument that I had is that the rats will know that they're effectively trapped. Yeah, even though you can provide them with everything that they want. The mice will be happy for a short amount of time until they realise that, you know, that is their lot. You know, there's no going away and finding other colonies of mice to breed with or whatever. I suppose whereas they are social, I'm sure they're not that sociable. I can't see them going down the pub for a drink together.
Well, they tend to go more towards like the alpha beta male type of aspect. Like I said, their social interactions are more primitive at that point. Hey, how's it going, MGTOW Warrior? What's up? But yeah, like I was saying, it's more, you know, I'm not saying that we can ever draw any direct comparisons between the two, but also at the same time, you know, this isn't a new question. Like even before the mouse experiment happened, it wasn't even a new question then. As far as would humans be able to exist in an actual utopia?
No.
You know,
No,
people had asked that because the thing is I mean, like I said, you know, just take a look at our current situation, you know, with first world countries, which is as close to a utopia as we've ever been.
yeah.
As far as as far as humans are concerned, I think I'm pretty safe in making that assumption, unless you know people believe in the lost city of Atlantis or whatever. But
yeah, even with
but
that,
then look what happened to Atlantis. There you go, boom.
It sunk.
Right.
I mean, the thing is,
it probably sank from all the genetic engineering and the sheer weight of the size of the guy's cocks that women came up with. Anywho.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing that I'm talking about here is just the pure and simple fact of, as we solve major issues, and like even when we start running out of issues to solve, we then start creating new issues.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, anyone who even slightly has their eyes open, who has ever even gone on the internet for at least 5 minutes, can see this shit. I mean, just go to Twitter if you need any amount of proof there.
No, I'll give that a miss, thanks.
Yeah, but
there's reasons why I don't do Twitter. Yeah. That's one of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know?
But the thing is I'm just saying, I really don't think that humans could really accept utopia. I think we would just inherently reject it. Because like I said, throughout human history, our way of bettering ourselves, I mean, why are you going to better yourself if there's no reason to?
Well, exactly that.
You know? And the thing is we inherently know this. Because like with the fat acceptance thing, that's trying to go into kind of a utopian mindset, right? It's all like, you can exist just to exist. But at that point, it's all like, no, this is actually a damaging thing. And this is coming from someone who's fat.
Yeah, but I mean,
so I'm speaking from experience. It's a very damaging thing to your body.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to accept that. And a lot of people don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't want to put the effort in to better themselves.
Yeah.
And there are those that enjoy wallowing in their own misery.
Yep.
It gives them something, because in the strangest of ways, it gives them a kick.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it kicks in those endorphins that you get there. Actually, I don't know if you ever watched it. It's kind of a harder video to find. I'll go ahead and try to find it, and then I might be able to send it to you somehow. I don't know, because it's a full-fledged video, like full-fledged, like kind of short movie type of thing.
Okay.
Called "What the Bleep Do We Know?"
Okay.
And in it, I think you would find it exceptionally fascinating because it covers a wide spectrum of things, from psychology, but it also covers biochemistry. It also covers quantum physics. It covers a lot of different shit. I mean, there's kind of a new age feel to it, so I'm going to warn you right now. But anyone who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend going out and watching it, because it's kind of an interesting thing to watch, and it at least gets the brain juices flowing. You know?
Yeah.
But it actually has some really good points, and it actually has some very interesting experiments inside of it. But it also shows how people can actually get addicted to being miserable so much to the point to where they actually start affecting the world around them to make bad things happen to them. Subconsciously.
Yeah. The law of attraction. Yeah.
And
I would agree with that.
Thing, you know, like maybe they'll accidentally step in front of that waiter, you know, that's carrying a bottle of wine with 4 filled wine glasses on it. Maybe they subconsciously, purposely step in front of that waiter so it gets spilled all over them, so they can do the "oh, woe is me, why does this always happen to me?"
Yeah.
I think, and the thing is it's all like, yeah, that's a fucking thing. Have you noticed that people that just seem hell bent on being miserable will always find a way to be miserable?
Well, you see, yeah, I mean, there's that, and there's also, I might get a bit of hate for this, but maybe some will see the where I'm coming from. And obviously, this isn't exactly a direct attack at all Americans or anything like that. But with the
Oh no,
whole,
Americans are fucked up. I'm going to say it right now. As an American, right now, we are some fucked up people.
well, when you think like over there, you guys fucking sue each other for like the craziest of shit.
Oh, the American pastime. It ain't baseball anymore.
No, yeah, exactly. You know, and that's something that, I mean, they tried to do it over here a few years ago, and I think a lot of people just got told to fuck off. And yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's
the
still...
thing is, your judges are all like, yeah, no, we don't want to work that hard. we look at those American judges. We look at their lifespans. Fuck off.
We've seen the suicide rates. We're not interested.
Well, not even just suicide rates. It's also fucking death from liver damage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Drink yourself out of the problem. But yeah, and anyway, you know, I mean, that's it. It's all part of it, because you know, some people over here, they get it's like anything else. It's going to vary on the individual, but you can get like people with highly addictive personalities. You know, so like with what you're saying about the sort of like manic depressive or whatever, that, you know, ends up doing stuff like knocking into the waiter to spill the wine so that they get a scene out of it. There's that side. There's a manic depressive side of it, and it's, you know, because psychology is such a vast field. You know, that you're going to get so many different people doing it for so many different reasons. Some because they can get a claim out of it, they can get some money, and you know.
Look at what MGTOW Warrior said to me about what I said about Americans.
What's that? I haven't got the chat available.
He said, "How dare you say that about Americans? I'm going to sue."
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
man,
and since this is a MGTOW channel, and I have to do my duty as a MGTOW, and I have to link this to female behavior, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Now, as far as the Misery Loves Company thing, you know, and the whole, they'll find a fucking way to be miserable no matter what.
Yeah.
Just look at, you know, these female SJWs and, you know, female feminists, and it sucks that I have to sit there and even specify female there.
No, the male feminists are just as bad. The male feminists are just as bad. They just don't.
Yeah, but the thing is, the male feminists will sit there and throw a woman into harm's way so they can be Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm talking about the women, because they're self-inflicting it on themselves. Like, they go to a fucking comedy skit and then they try to fucking pull that shit, and then the comedian fucking roast them. And I'm all, and then they walk out, you know, calling people Nazi and, oh, fuck you, and that sort of thing. Then they go to Twitter and go, I was just attacked, when they were the ones who started the fucking conflict. It's all like, motherfucker.
Oh no, you fucking didn't. Oh shit. But yeah, that's just fucking life.
By the way, thank you for sending me that video link.
It's funny, wasn't it?
I appreciated that so much. That brought me out of my fucking funk almost instantly. My cousin was sitting there and watching it with me, and he was just dying fucking laughing.
That is fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like that's a perfect fucking example of it. Maybe I'll go ahead and link that into this description after the stream's done.
Yeah, do, man.
Yeah, so that way people can see what I'm talking about there.
Yeah. It's fucking funny as fuck, man. But it's so true. What was being described was so true.
And so the thing is given that aspect, and we're seeing it in increasing amounts in our societies. And it's not just Western societies. We're seeing that all over the fucking place. Like, as soon as people hit a Western society, they instantly adopt into that. I mean, we're seeing it constantly. I mean, you're definitely seeing it hardcore where you're at.
I try and close my eyes most of the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Yeah, it really doesn't help, because at that point, then your body's all like, oh no, I've gone blind. All right, increase all other senses.
Yeah,
So then
I
you
can
can
still
taste
hear
the
it.
hypocrisy, and it's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I can still hear it. I can still sense it.
But
Fucking-
but the thing is, I honestly, at that point, given how that's so prevalent nowadays, I really don't think that humans could handle a utopia. I really don't. I don't
Well,
think
the
that
thing is,
that we would last long in it.
the thing is, we're never happy though. That's the thing, isn't it?
Exactly. So even if
as
we were in a utopia, we would not recognize that we are in a utopia.
it's almost like we're being set up for failure. I mean,
No, we're
even
setting
if you-
ourselves up for failure, unfortunately. That's the thing. It's not some mystical force setting us up for failure. It's us doing it to ourselves. I forget which musical group did it, but they had a song where they said, you do it to yourself without out, and that's what really hurts, you know? And I'm all like, yep, right the fuck there.
Nailed it.
So like, all right, we can check out for the century. That was the statement to end all statements, you know?
Yeah.
All in a fucking song.
And the fuckers were right.
Right, and time just proves them right more and more as we go along.
Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, I mean, I think at the same time, it's also down to how each individual conducts themselves within their lives. You know, I mean, if you know, to go into the whole MGTOW thing, like before a guy ends up going his own way in that, right? Does the whole thing, relationship, marriage, kids, then I'm not happy.
Yep.
So you got to ask that question. I mean, at that point, it's too late. But then, you know, okay, so why was either one of them, usually the woman, not happy? You know, not happy enough to merit, you know, ending something good. That's going to obviously have prolonged effects on the kids later on in life, so on and so forth.
Yeah, the saying used to be happy wife, happy life. Now it needs to be changed to happy wife equals cucked life.
Happy wife, shut up. How about that?
Right. It's all like if you're actually fucking happy, shut the fuck up. Don't sit there and bitch about the small shit if you're legitimately fucking happy.
Yeah, but the thing is like even when they go ahead and you know get all the divorce, and even after they put the guy through the ringer. I mean, even if they don't, for argument's sake, even if they don't take the guy through the ringer, and it's all equitable and it's all you know happy flowers, bunny rabbits, and all that shit.
Yeah, which I've actually seen.
The next relationship, same sort of thing. Whether it's 3, 5, 7, or 10 years, what happens? I'm not happy.
Yep.
So again, what is causing? What is the root of these people's unhappiness?
You know? Well, maybe it's the fact that they're serial relationists.
And well, the thing is, because I spoke about this a while ago, and I think it's down to a combination of boredom and not appreciating what they've got.
Mm.
You know?
Yep.
Because if you've got
because at that point they don't have a challenge to overcome.
Exactly.
And people sit there and try to say that you know it's just men that want to solve problems. No. Women also have that as well. It's just men tend to be a little more, let's say, aggressive about it typically.
Well, no. You see, the thing is, I kind of agree and disagree.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's an absolute statement. I'm just saying.
Women.
When I say aggressive about it, I'm talking about more kind of like, all right, I'm going to be proactive about this. Whereas with women, it's more of a.
Yeah, sit down and talk. That's what. So, well, this is the thing. I actually I was a bit of a shit a couple of months ago. I wasn't a bit of a shit actually. I was just being honest. But I was watching Lauren Southern. Is it Brittany Pettibone or something like that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
And
honestly, I haven't seen
going on about the whole
stuff for a long time.
Don't waste your fucking time.
Oh,
honestly, God. I don't. So honestly, I used to like. I used to appreciate what she did for Rebel Media and that. And then it just went the same old way, you know, like when she went independent. I mean, fair play to her for going independent and doing her thing. Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. Although I gotta admit, I am kind of pissed off at the Rebel Media for what they did to the other chick.
Which one?
I will fucking admit. The one that went to the Charlottesville thing, and then she ended up going on to a podcast with some of the alt-righters, and so they fired her because of that. And it's all like, really? You just fired someone for talking to the wrong people? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, yeah.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
But then
that kind of pissed me off. And the thing
again,
is
isn't it?
anyone who watches my channel knows I tend to love the Rebel Media, if for nothing else than for a laugh. But the thing is, I mean, since they did that, I'm all like, you're losing all your talent. Stop.
No, I mean, there is that. I mean, to jump back on point with Lauren Southern, yeah, basically, they started talking about relationships.
Thank you, love is Faith Goldie. The name of the chick that they just recently screwed over.
Really? Faith Goldie? No.
Mm-hmm. They fired Faith Goldie.
She's a Canadian one, isn't she? She's a Canadian girl.
Yeah.
They fired
Faith Goldie because she talked to the wrong fucking people without their permission.
Oh, fucking diddums.
Mm-hmm.
There goes your freedom of speech.
and they told her not to go to Charlottesville. They specifically told her, she went against them on it. She's all like, no, this is something that needs to be reported on. And so she went there. I'm all like, so you fired her for actually being a fucking journalist and actually, you know, talking with the people that are being actively fucking attacked? Really?
I mean, that could also tie in, I don't know how much. Whereas back to Lauren Southern, when I think it's when she was she with the Rebel? I think she might have just left the Rebel at that point, and she reported on the violence in Germany that was going on with Antifa over there, and it was getting. I think the German Antifa are a lot more giving people something to think about than any other Antifa going. They're pretty on it.
Over in Germany, like, we think it's bad over here in the States, and it's all like, when you look at the one over in Germany, it's all like, no, because they just got a massive influx of new recruits.
Yeah, well, I mean, over here you can just take the soda off them and they'll cry and go away, so that's all good.
Yeah,
yeah. So, you know. But yeah, basically the point I was getting at is with Lauren, they actually Patreon actually stopped her account under the claim that she was endangering her own life and other people's, and this was not part of their thing, and yada yada yada.
I thought they said that she was inciting violence. I thought that was.
Well,
I've heard several different stories, so I don't even know what to make.
I thought it was more down to people's lives being endangered, whether it is inciting violence or not. You know, I think that was the main thing they were getting at. But, you know. But yeah, then with the whole Lawrence Southern talking about, you know, the traditional housewives and all this sort of thing, they did this long chat about monogamous relationships and so on. So me being me, I put a lovely long comment in there for her to read and take into consideration. And, you know, I wasn't expecting a reply. I mean, shit, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, there's so many white knights and cucks there, you know, all bowing down to her. Like, you know, my comment wasn't going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
But it was basically just
screaming into the void.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was basically, all I did was a typical thing of, right, well, when you weigh up the odds of a legal system that is going to screw a guy over for getting in a relationship, married, and having kids with someone, and you can go ahead and cheat and, you know, be the complete, you know, the bad one in the relationship, and it's still the guy's fault. It's like, oh, well, what did you do wrong? And it's like, well, you know, what the hell? I mean, maybe she didn't respond because she was thinking I'm coming from a negative, nihilistic point, which I wasn't. Yeah. I was coming from a very realistic point. So,
yeah,
no, this is how it is.
We're actively trying to solve this issue here.
Yeah, exactly.
The first step to solving any issue is figuring out how to ask the damn question.
Yeah. But I think it boils down to morals and teaching people to have them. But then I think it's one of them things, either some people have them or they don't. And if they don't, they're not going to grow some anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about morals rather than cojones, but you know. And yeah, that's kind of that side of it. And again, you're also going to find women that, to go back to the whole misery thing, you know, have happiness in misery, who will actually, you know, decimate their own relationships, whether it's friendship or romantic relationship or whatever, just for the sake of getting that attention.
And unfortunately, it's not. And the thing is, unfortunately, it's not just women that do that. I've seen guys do that shit. You know,
well,
where they've actually had one of the women that was actually not necessarily treating them like shit yet. But the thing is they went ahead and went out of their way and did everything they could to fuck it up.
Well, I mean,
and they even admitted to doing it.
I mean, dude, I mean, the thing is, that's a difficult one. I mean, there's two sides to every story. I mean, I've done some fucking stupid shit in my time when relationships are concerned.
Have a good night, Bullet.
Good night, Bullet. But it's been down to, you know, situations where, well, I think I've even covered that in the video. Whereas I could not get this girl to leave me alone. She forcing me into a relationship, and in the end, I ended up having to go and sleep with a couple of other girls. Around people that are her friends.
Yeah, but that's not the type of shit I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guys who, like, legitimately, who were, in all honesty, I think it really comes down to them kind of being all like, oh, I really don't, I'm getting too fucking attached, and that means too much hurt can be coming my way. I got to end this right now. Type of mentality.
But then
and I'm talking about those guys in particular. I'm not saying all guys do that.
No. But is it? See, this is it. It's just one of them. I think you've got to ask him at the time. But then, you know, some guys. I take one of my friends. He was he was a bit of a fucker. He was fucking funny. He was a typical bad boy. Several good heart of gold, but you know. He just had to have a couple of girls going at the same time and that sort of a thing. I mean, each their own, man, whatever, you know. I don't agree with it, and he knows I don't agree with it. And, you know, he ended up, and I said to him, you know, because I was kind of like the other side of it. I'm like, dude, why can't you just have a monogamous relationship with, like, one girl? And he's like, well,
because he thought that it was a waste of the full potential of his plow to not be in multiple fields.
yeah, something like that. But still, his argument was like, well, you know, doesn't matter. I don't know that, you know, they're not seeing other people behind my back. You know, I'm like, well, that is a fair kind of comment, but you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And he's like, whatever. But anyway,
yeah.
He ended up getting married.
How I am with giving benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yes.
When it comes to relationships, anyway.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's kind of coming to streams as well. After what just happened, Jesus Christ.
But then that's the thing, because, you know what I mean? What do you do? Like, do you become like a fucking asshole that, you know, an unsufferable one because, well, according to everyone else, because you're not giving people a chance, but then when you did give them a chance, they proved to you that the reason that you weren't giving them a chance was legit in the first place. Yeah. Do you know?
And the thing is, I'm gonna take this moment right now. I want to actually thank my subscribers, in all honesty, for the support that I've been getting, and for them sticking around and realizing that definitely is not going to be a normal occurrence on here. I just wanted to go out and say that.
Well, no, of course I am, man. It's just some fucked up shit.
Because, I mean, I give credit where credit's due, and whenever someone, backs me up in a situation like that, because I know it's not easy to back me up in a situation like that, you know?
Well,
because, I mean, that came down to me screwing up as well as the others.
Well, on that, something that I didn't realise until later on in the stream, after it kind of all kicked off on that, I don't know at which point, but I was actually saying stuff that I knew that I'd said, but then it didn't go through to the live stream. So I don't know if I got muted as well. I was
Yeah,
there
no,
at the
they
beginning.
were muting random people throughout the thing. Like I
was,
sat there and I took a look and I rewatched the stream just to make sure that I wasn't being a complete and total douchebag. You know, I'm all like, oh, maybe I was in the wrong. So I decided to go ahead and rewatch that whole fucking stream. Yeah, that was not good for my health.
No, I bet it wasn't.
But the thing is I sat there and I'm all like, why in the hell were certain people getting muted? I know that they were trying to fucking talk because I heard them get cut off.
Yeah.
I wasn't muting people.
Well, I mean, mate, I don't get it. Either way, fuck it, doesn't matter. It's done. But
yeah, but whatever.
Fucking ourselves.
They probably muted you
anyway,
because they knew that you were going to stay calm and composed, and that I'd just probably go ahead and let you take it.
Yeah, I think.
And they and they know that I have an explosive personality.
I think there's a reason why they targeted more than what they did me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. But anywho, whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. Back on topic.
Yeah, exactly.
But as far as you know, people kind of getting addicted to their own misery.
Yeah. Again, it's one of them, and it's down to I don't know. I think it's because we're living in a spoilt brat generation. Now, I'm kind of guilty of being a bit like that, you know. Whereas,
oh yeah, like pretty much everyone right now has a little bit of a spoiled brat mentality. Let's all be honest with ourselves here, people. Everyone has a little bit of spoiled brat in them.
I mean, I mean, to myself anyway. I can justify it because I'm like, well, I go to work, I slug it out, and every now and then I want shiny things for whatever. You know?
Shiny things to keep me distracted.
Yeah, exactly that. It's my shiny thing, and I'm having it.
Well, it's kind of like with me and technology. Like, do I really need a nice phone? Not necessarily. I mean, people could sit there and say, well, it's for recording videos, and you do videos out in your front yard and that sort of thing, and we're not expecting you to buy a fucking GoPro or anything, which I wouldn't fucking do because fuck that noise.
Uh-huh.
But but I don't need those shiny new fancy gadgets. I don't need them. It's definitely a want. So I can survive without them. Doesn't mean it's not nice to have.
It's just I see it as kind of like what's the fucking word I'm looking for? You know, when you sort of done good, like a little reward. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, like I say, you slug it out at work for a week or whatever, and it's like, I want that. Yeah. I've worked hard. I think I deserve that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's
paying out all the bills.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that mentality. I mean, if you're sitting there, you're working your fucking ass off, go ahead and treat yourself every once in a while. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I mean, at that point, you're positively reinforcing your hard work. It's you using psychology on yourself at that point to keep you doing the right thing.
Yeah, but I think with that, I mean, me personally, I can't speak for everyone, of course, but I don't know. I end up buying a lot of shit that I don't actually need at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, everyone's guilty. Everyone's guilty of the impulse buy.
Yeah, but dude, I'm the type that, like sometimes I get stuff delivered and I don't even remember ordering it. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's just like Christmas. What is this? Like, oh, I remember ish. It's like, It's like last week I had like 3 or 4 parcels turn up. I remembered ordering 2. It's like, what the fuck are the other 2?
See, I've never ran into that problem because I'm an obsessive compulsive fuck, and I'm all like, all right, they said it's gonna be here in this many days. As soon as that day comes and goes, I'm all like, where the fuck is my shit?
No. I had that the other week. I was very disappointed. Ordered something. They said they sent it. Yeah, chased it up and they hadn't sent it. I'm like, you bastards, give me a refund. I'll get it from somewhere else.
Right? Oh, Jesus. I hate it whenever the companies do that. It's all like, oh, we're gonna have it to you by this day. It comes to that day, and they're all like, yeah, we haven't even shipped it yet.
Yeah, but they've marked it as shipped. They've sent you the invoice and everything saying that they've shipped it, but they haven't.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, no, it was everything. I messaged him and I'm like, oh yeah, where you said
Love's
sent it,
asking
and
you if you've ever been guilty of drunk buying.
yeah,
Like buying something that you wouldn't typically buy, but you're buying it because you're fucking drunk.
yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. No, man.
Does it have to do with one of the pictures that I sent you?
I've got to think about that now. You turd. Yeah, I bought a feminist once, woke up, put it straight back on eBay.
Instant markup. Woo!
Yeah, no returns accepted.
Go to a fucking dating site, just put a picture of one of those up and be all like for sale as the name.
No, we'll give away for free to a good home.
But no, I mean it's one of those things. And now that I've actually brought up the dating site thing, I'm gonna actually bring that into the conversation because that actually has something to do with the kind of utopia thing. Because with us being social creatures, us having access to a wide variety of people is part of that utopia, right?
Don't kid yourself, but carry on.
But the thing is at the same time, it's all like, at that point, dating sites, like I think I've covered it before. If not, then, well, here's my thoughts on it. Dating sites heavily favor women. I mean, we've already seen that. They've done studies on it and that sort of thing. So at that point, it's all like, if you're a guy on a dating site, good luck. Not unless, you got, the washboard abs, fucking big ass fucking muscles, a cock that can make a horse cry, perfect teeth, perfect hair, perfect eyes, all that fucking shit.
What are you saying about my hair, bro?
But it's just one of those situations, and again, that comes down to kind of the study that was being referenced before. It's all like, when you've got that open thing, then people are going to become extra fucking picky, and we've already, you've been in MGTOW for a little while, so I'm sure you've heard of the thing of women sitting there and always wanting to date up and that sort of thing, thinking that they deserve several rungs on the attractive ladder higher than them, type of thing. Whereas guys are supposed to date down.
Yeah, I don't fucking think so. Too either. I don't think so too either. I think this is one of the things that it was kind of a 50-50. I'll tell you a bit about my this is going back quite a few years now, but my online dating experience. I mean, at the end of the day, women always have had the upper hand on that. They are the last ones that have the say who they date. And
well, I mean, they're the gatekeepers to sex. Let's be honest. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, at that point, it comes down to who has the keys. They're the ones who decide where you go. Anyone who's comes stumbling out of a bar knows that all too well.
Exactly that. And the one thing that I found, I mean, I sent out several questions because you had that thing of, oh yeah, you have to be earning more than me, which is blah, blah, blah. And I own my own house, car, whatever, and this sort of a thing.
Yeah, and I think that it's funny that women are all like, oh, well, I travel, I do all this sort of thing. And they list those as positives. And the guy's all like, I got to fucking compete with that. Fuck that noise.
Well, this is it.
It's all like, I can barely afford my top ramen.
But this is it. Then when I sent a message out to one of these chicks, I said, look, yeah, all right, you got the looks and you got the house and the car and everything else. I said, but why does the person that you're supposed to be looking for love for, which is the one thing that you're supposedly here for, that's what it says in your profile thingy.
Unless you're on like Tinder or something.
Why does it matter what they earn, whether it's more or less than what you do?
Well, again, at that
And
point, I think
no
it comes down to
response.
female nature.
I
But
got no response. I mean, at the end of the day, I was a totally different kettle of fish to the girl that was having all these demands anyway. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting anything from it other, from her, should I say, other than an answer as to why she felt justified that her partner should earn more. Well, of course, when you look at the divorce rate and who gets more in the end game, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Whether she was in it for that, I will never know. I can only assume so. What else are you supposed to think?
yeah, I mean, at that point, it's all like if you're sitting there, you're on a dating site, and you're more preoccupied with what a person does for their occupation and how much money they pull in, how nice of a car they have, how nice of a house they have, basically how much stuff do they have available to them that would then become available to you. At that point, I can't blame anyone for sitting there and going, gold digger!
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And then you get the other ones that are also on there, which this one got sent a message, and this one wasn't a looker in any way, shape, or form. And that's not being harsh. I'm just saying how it is. And she was sort of saying about, oh yeah, I'm not into guys with flash cars that like modifying them and all this, which I mean straight away it's the exact opposite to me anyway.
Yeah.
And then went on to berate guys saying that they're little boys and their toys and all this on the profile, and yet she's looking for love. And I sent her a couple of things as well, saying, well, look, at the end of the day, you and I are two different kettles of fish anyway, not a problem. But on the off chance that you were to fall in love with someone like me for my personality, for who I am, and so on and so forth, what would it matter what hobbies I have? And again, no response.
Yep. Well, because they don't want to answer those hard questions.
Yeah, if it's all about the feels, which they supposedly want that feeling of falling in love and being in love with someone, and
well,
so
then
so
you know
forth.
what? They can overdose on chocolate.
Yeah, that's doable. But even with that, they're still not happy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can still find something to complain about. Maybe it's in a wrong color wrapper or something like that,
Yeah. Or doesn't have enough corn in it.
But to go back to the utopia, it just goes to show that they could have all these things that they want and still end up not being happy.
Yeah. Well, it's also one of those things like you actually, let's go ahead and put it this way. When people have a whole lot of money, the whole saying, money doesn't buy happiness. Someone who's on the bottom rung sits there and goes, bullshit. And the people at the top are sitting there going, speak it, preach it, brother.
Well, you see, the thing is, my argument with that is, no, it's not the answer to happiness, but it's definitely a short-term fix.
Yeah,
for the individual.
It can open up the pathways to happiness. Let's say that.
Exactly that.
It can allow you to do the things that make you happy.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's going to be the same old problem where, if people don't appreciate what they actually have initially, whether it's money, a relationship, that, loving relationship and all that goes with it.
Holy Blade just said, in the country, all the girls are freaking quote-unquote country girls. I don't like country girls. Too masculine. I'm more of a Southern Belle kind of guy. Which is fair enough,
I mean, you see, the thing is, I've not really had much experience with very masculine girls or women. And I think there's a chance. I mean, unless you're too kind of, I guess, feminized by society, then in that case, it probably wouldn't work.
Oh, confirmed. Holy Blood, because he did a typo and said kind of day at the end of his thing. And he said day, question mark, question mark. I meant to put girl. And I'm all like, uh-oh. Holy Blade has a wet hole, confirmed. But then he said guy, oops. But yeah, no. No, when it comes to someone's preferences, I'm not going to fault them on their preferences, but also at the same time, shoot in your category.
Do what?
Shoot in your category. You know, don't like actually be honest with yourself. Be all like, what do I have to bring to the fucking table? Where does that put me on the pecking order? All right, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to shoot at the same level on the other end of the pecking order.
Yeah, I mean, I've even thought of that, and like recently, like when I've thought about what do I actually bring to the table, not a lot, really. I bring myself.
Oh, now Holy's getting a whole lot of shit in the chat. Well, not a whole lot of shit. It's just it's starting.
What?
Holy in the chat because of the whole thing. Well, I guess Holy. You know what? I guess it gives a whole new meaning to your name.
Yeah, you know it.
I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying having a nice, calm, cool, and collected live stream. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm biting my tongue real hard now. Let me tell you that.
But yeah, you know, what were you? What continue on with what you were saying?
Yeah. With regards, what do I bring to a relationship? And it's like, well, my initial thought was not a lot, because why would I have to take anything to a relationship? You know, it's because as soon as you ask that question, you know, or you get asked for that question, what do you bring to a relationship? It immediately is, I see it now as, what have you got that I can take from you?
Yeah, fair enough.
And maybe it is a negative way to look at it, but at the same time, it's like, well, look, if someone likes me enough as a person, then irrelevant of what material stuff I have or don't have, that shouldn't be relevant. Or am I thinking along the wrong lines here? You know, is this...
like I said, it's, you know, it's fair enough. I mean, if someone started to ask you what you're bringing to a relationship, it's kind of that, well, what can you do for me type of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
also at the same time, like if you're looking for a relationship, you're obviously looking for something from the other person, as well. I mean, just to be fair, you know, people don't get into relationships just cause.
Well, this is it. I mean, I think for the majority of guys, it's more of a case of the companionship. You know,
the pussy. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I was trying to find a better way around it, but yeah, the pussy.
Yeah, no, there's no better way around it. The direct.
No. Hang on, I've got one. The girls are like this one. Intimacy.
Just on a physical level.
That's covert for pussy. But yeah, and
the thing is, whenever someone says intimacy, oddly enough, my brain actually doesn't go there. Oddly enough, my brain doesn't go there. You know where my brain goes? My brain goes to, you know, laying next to each other in bed, you know, waking up next to each other. You know, it goes more towards that, yes, physical intimacy, but also emotion attached to it. Because the thing is like someone can have sex with someone else and feel absolutely nothing. That is very, very, very possible. But at the same time, you know, it's all like, it's kind of hard to sit there and, you know, wake up next to a person every fucking day and feel absolutely nothing. Well, I mean, whether you're feeling love, whether you're feeling regret, whether you're feeling disgust, whether you're feeling something, damn it.
You're thinking, what the fuck did I do? Please tell me I didn't. But yeah, I think that's
well, thanks, Mexican MGTOW. Mexican's in there. He said he recorded the conflict and all that. I actually downloaded the entire stream. I have it archived now, so if anything happens, I'm good. But thanks for letting me know that there's another backup out there. Sorry, I just needed to address that.
No, that's all right. Yeah. But I think it also boils down to with how society has been, and you know, like what that little square box does with shitty unreality TV shows, where they're showing people with lives that they're not living their real lives. They're living a life on the TV for the sake of a show.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that these because this is how it affects the kids now, and to how they're going to grow up to be. They're going to see these reality TV show stars or whatever with all this stuff in the reality TV show itself, and assume that they've gotten, it's been handed down through family or whatever, and they've just got this easy life in which they don't have to do practically anything.
Yeah.
And then they see the sort of backhandedness, when the divorce goes on in a reality TV show, and they see how the guy gets demonized and has everything taken away, and he's the lowest form of scum, even though he might not have actually done anything wrong. But the TV show kind of manipulates the viewer into thinking that is normal behavior when it's not. So, of course, with that, if you're bringing up generations of kids watching that shit and thinking it's real and acceptable and that's how the world works, then they ain't going to know any better.
Yeah, and then they're going to start treating everyone like that. And
exactly that, which is why.
And then that affects the next generation, because then they see it in real time. They see it in their own quote unquote families.
I mean, I think that the next generation that are potentially going to pull.
Love is those aren't Southern Belles; those are called Southern Pears. There's a difference.
You're talking about your testicles.
Love is said the only Southern Belles in the South are about 200 pounds or 250 pounds. I said, no, those aren't Southern Belles. Those are Southern Pears.
Yeah, so with that, I think it's going to be the sort of next generations down that might be able to pull society out of this fucking mess that it's in right now.
Yeah. But the thing is we have to sit there and show them how this isn't fucking right. We have to sit there and open their eyes to it so that they can overcome it.
Exactly that.
And that's the hard part. That's the really hard part, because then at that point, it's all like, they're going to sit there, they're going to grow up with that shit, and then they're going to come into the part of their life where they start thinking for themselves, start forming their own ideas and that sort of thing. But what access do sane people have to kids nowadays? In schools? Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, this is it.
Even in college, I don't think so. And now they're sitting there and they're bringing these safe spaces and limitations on speech and what is and is not acceptable to say. They're trying to sit there and say that if you even speak of a hate fact, that you're, racist or whatever, whatnot, and they demonize you for it. And so then they see that action being taken towards the people who are actually speaking truth. And even if they know that the person's speaking truth, they're going to be all like, why in the hell would I want to speak truth if that's how I'm going to be treated?
No, exactly that.
Because then they weren't raised with the morals of speaking the truth. The truth is rarely easy, but it needs to be done.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are very scared of the truth because it will hurt their feelings.
A lot of people are terrified of the truth for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And they lash out violently.
Yep. So that's definitely dead set. Shit, I think on that note, man, I'm gonna have to cut you short, my man. I'm gonna have to make a move.
All right, have yourself a good one. Get some good sleep.
Yeah, I need it, man.
Thanks for joining in Thanks for joining in the stream. Always a pleasure having you on.
Always a pleasure to be here, man. You know the score.
Yep.
Cool. All right, fella, you take it easy, man, and I shall catch up with you later on at some point.
Shut up, legend. What was that, dude? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
It's always a pleasure to do the live stream with you, man, and I shall catch you again next time.
All right, have yourself a good one, man. Hopefully you can get all your shit straightened out.
Yeah, man. Cool.
All right,
talk to you later. Take it easy. All right, bye. See you later, guys.
So, but yeah, sticking with the theme, I'm actually going to try to stay on. the thing is when it comes down to utopia, like we talked about a bunch of different things right there. But the thing is the closer we get to a utopia, it just seems like the more people bitch and complain. And I'm not sitting there and saying that we should purposely keep some strife there or anything like that. I'm just saying eventually we're going to create strife just as humans. It's just one of those things that is going to happen. We're going to find something to bitch about. But the thing is at the same time, we need to sit there and recognize that if we're sitting there and we're bitching about an issue, it may feel absolutely huge to us individually. But the thing is it might be something that only affects a very small group of people. And so when people get pissed off, when people aren't, rioting in the streets because of this one small issue that affects a small niche of people, and then those people get pissed off because other people aren't just as enraged, then the problems start to compound. I mean, you end up with situations where people start using violence against others, trying to get their point across, or people sitting there and throwing out, false accusations against people just to stir the pot, just to try to make everyone else as miserable as they are. And I mean, it's just one of those things that can just snowball very, very quickly. And we have a history of that as humans. I mean, just take a basic look at human history. How often does peace last? It really fucking doesn't. And even whenever on the surface there's peace, there's turmoil boiling underneath of it. So honestly, at this point, I really don't think that humans could handle a utopia. I think that humans would just inherently reject it, like I said before. Have a good one, Mexican. But the thing is when we go ahead and we think of a utopia, I want to go ahead and start up a little bit of a thought process here. Think to yourself, what would you consider a utopia? And be honest about it. Now, whatever you just came up with, whether you're watching right now or you're watching later, whatever you just came up with, I guarantee you that it is not exactly the same as anyone else on this planet. Because we are all individuals. Period. We all have our own wants. We all have our own desires. We all have our own aspirations. Sad to say, Holy, because Holy said I would consider death a utopia. Just kidding. Sad to say, Holy, some people actually have that view. Some people do have it. And it's because they're looking around and they're all like, I've got all these fucking problems. No one seems to fucking care. And so death is definitely the option. That's the best way of me getting out of this and just solving all those problems. Some people will actually have that mentality. Me, I kind of joke around about it. It's all like, well, what if you were to die tomorrow? Well, then all my problems are over. That's my automatic response to that. I say it jokingly, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's kind of serious about it. Am I suicidal? No, I'm not suicidal. And yeah, you're right, Holy Blade. Some people do have problems, and I'm assuming you're meaning like mental health issues. And yeah, that can happen. But the thing is when you're talking about someone with mental health issues, at that point, that's not necessarily something that they can help. Because it usually comes down to like a chemical imbalance or something along those lines. Yeah, see, look, Legend sitting here and saying he can't wait for the collapse. His utopia is absolute unbridled chaos. Fair enough. Some people actually have that mentality about them. There are some people that absolutely thrive in chaos. And you got some people that will sit there and it's funny, Legend actually just said easy prey. But the thing is some people actually have that mentality as well. It's all like, my utopia is the extreme version of survival of the fittest, us going back to more of that primal aspect of ourselves, and stop denying those primal aspects of ourselves. Some people view it that way. Like I was saying, though, everyone has a different view of what a utopia would be like. I mean, hell, we've seen some feminists, they described their utopia as men literally being enslaved or being non-existent. There's a lot of divorced men out there saying, yeah, my utopia is where my ex is dead. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of fucking shit like that. You're gonna have some major differences between some people and then minor differences with other people, but they will never be the same. Like, my utopia is one of the most impossible utopias out there, and that's sitting there and having a situation kind of like in SAO, where you can go ahead and do a full dive. You can make a living off of playing those video games like that. That would be my utopia. Because then I get to do what I love, to earn money, and I get the most interactive gaming experience out there. That would be my utopia. Not, so, and I know that there are some people that are going to have, that aspect in there. But then there's going to be some people that are going to be like, yeah, no, not so much. People that aren't into gaming or whatever. Fair enough. But I'm just saying these things because I want to illustrate the differences. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to end the stream here, because I mean, we basically covered pretty much everything that can be done on this subject, because it all comes down to kind of speculation. Because the fact of the matter is we are probably never going to reach a utopia level. Because the closest thing that we've ever had to a utopia, as far as even works of fiction, would be something like Star Trek. But guess what? That's also one of those situations where there are a lot of people that are just equally as miserable. People are not without their problems. There's still a lot of political BS that happens and all that sort of thing. But that's as close as you've gotten as far as that sort of thing is concerned, when it comes to outright works of fiction. And if you want to go to a religious level, look at the Garden of Eden. Look at what happened there. Just saying. Well, Holy Blade, you're not going to be in college forever, dude. Just stick with it. Get your degree. You do you. Hopefully you find yourself a job that you're exceedingly happy in. And I do have to agree with you, Legend. Following the Constitution would be quite nice, because the Constitution is a pretty good set of rules, in my opinion. But, hey, reality is what reality is at this point, and maybe eventually we'll get back to the Constitution being the law of the land, but until then, we're stuck with this current situation, so we just got to kind of make the best of it and work our way towards getting to the point where the Constitution actually is relevant again and is actually followed by our laws. Holy Blade says, I plan on working at home. I'm lazy. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. The thing is, I can't say anything against that, because, I mean, hell, with my second channel, when I monetize that, I'm hoping to be able to make a living off of that, and which would be basically working at home. I mean, a little bit of heading out every once in a while, but But yeah, the thing is unfortunately, the thing is a utopia can only exist for a very small subset of people. because we are so varied in our wants and desires, there's only a few that are actually compatible with each other. And so at that point, you're going to have a utopia for a bunch of people, but their utopia will be a dystopia for others. So honestly, at this point, I really don't think a utopia is actually a thing that's really achievable by us. And I'm not trying to be negative there, but also at the same time, I'm just trying to be honest. I mean, if we're honest about human nature and looking at our history, looking at how we're acting even today, it just really doesn't seem viable. So unfortunately, we're stuck with human imperfection, which is always going to lead to conflict, which is always going to lead to graded feelings and all that sort of thing. The whole bunch of people getting fucking triggered and all that shit. It's just kind of a part of us as a species. So, yeah. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead, going to end the video. Thanks to everyone who came here. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate having a good talk with Dilgaff and with all of you. I'll talk to y'all later. Have yourselves a great day. Peace.